location on our HVNN.com travel set.
Yeah.
So we are here to interview some of the celebrity chefs who are passing through and giving their cooking demonstrations. And with us right now is Vince Trippepi, who just finished his demonstration of eggplant rollatini,
yes,
which is looked and smelled beautiful and wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in and stopping by.
Thank you.
Yes. Vince, let's talk about the fact you've been here for 12 years, but let's talk about how important a festival like this is for the Hudson Valley. What makes it important?
Well, I think that not only is it good for tourism and economically, but I think that anytime I've gone to a food and wine show, the vendors are really, the best at what they do. I've gone to Arizona, I've gone to Florida, I've gone all across the country, and you can't find stuff this good in some of the best gourmet markets and upscale places. So these people here that are putting their product out there, they are the master of what they do. And as a chef, I walk around and this chef jacket gets a little tighter every time. Hopefully the camera's not picking up on that. But they really are the best at what they do. They know their craft. I mean, you have people from not just wine and beer, but you have people rolling cigars and making cakes and honey and maple syrup.
Yeah.
And they really know their craft. And that's putting them on the showcase. So it's really good.
Yeah, and the Hudson Valley is becoming increasingly known, I think, as sort of a foodie paradise, a foodie haven. So,
Absolutely.
I mean, we have some of the best products and best produce here.
Absolutely.
Really in the
Foodies
country.
know where good food is.
Yeah.
Okay? And this show, by the end of Sunday, will probably have, 20, 30,000 people?
Yeah, right.
And next year there'll be more. And the year after that there'll be more. And it's going to continue to pick up momentum because they're going to realize that this is the place to be. This is the place to go to.
And I guess the culinary doesn't hurt having the culinary.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Right.
You're ranked as one of the top 200 chefs, right, in the world?
In America.
In America. And you're one of the few chefs who actually cooked for President Obama.
Yeah, I've cooked for Obama, I cooked for Clinton, I cooked for Hillary without Bill. I've cooked for a lot of people.
What kind of stuff do you cook for the president?
If you take Clinton, for example, Bill Clinton, he was a big steak guy. He loved steak with Béarnaise sauce, But then when Hillary was around, he wanted the salad, really whatever they want. I mean, Obama is very big into scallops. He likes his scallops, seared and stuff. So I mean, not just the president, but people are principled anyway. It's a very high pressure situation sometimes. People say, oh, well, you're only cooking for 2 people. Yeah, but you're cooking for Pavarotti with 3 hours notice. It's a little stressful. So,
Yes. Now, as Charlie pointed out, you have very good credentials. A lot of curiosity were some of the most influential chefs that you followed in your life.
Well, my first job at a culinary school was working with Elaine Ducasse at the Essex House. And that whole experience was a tremendous, there was nothing like it, And from there, my career took on a lot of momentum. I've never stopped working since the day after I graduated culinary school. And it's probably because of working in better places with better chefs and stuff like that. But my grandmothers were very, very influential. I said it when I was on stage that my parents had a very large chocolate business when I was a kid. And when I wasn't with them, I was with my grandmothers. And my grandmothers would cook for 30, 40 people every night from scratch. I even told them on stage that my grandfather didn't even allow my grandmother to buy ricotta. She had to make her ricotta.
Oh, yeah.
She had to put the milk with the vinegar, and so I used, as a kid, I used to pull the stool over to the stove and watch my grandmother make the sauce and roast the lamb or whatever she was making. So, it doesn't have to be actually like in a kitchen like Ducasse, but from a kid, I was always around food all the time.
So, when did you know that you had this gift for cooking?
You know, I was working in kitchens before I went to culinary school. I always liked it. As a kid, I remember as a kid, I used to see my grandmother have all these raw ingredients, the flour, the eggs, the oil, and then she would make pasta out of it. And I was like, how that happen? You know, it was like I didn't like as a kid you don't really understand, you know, all that. But it was like magic, you know. So I just liked it all the time, and that's what I wanted to do. Even though I put a lot of attitude about it, because coming from an old world Italian family, you know, there was a lot of emphasis on education. I did very well in school. I got, you know, scholarships to a lot of colleges, and here I turn around and I say I want to go to culinary school. People think you're crazy. You know, I come from a long line of lawyers and doctors and CPAs, and you know, and they're like, you want to cook? I was like, yeah. You know, they wanted to rip my contract, whatever. Yeah. But I did. I think I did pretty well for myself, and I wouldn't have. I think it really, because my grandmothers were so influential and so about family and all that. I'm continuing their work, so that's how I see it.
Well, I know that everyone here appreciated your demo, appreciated seeing you, and we want to thank you so much for coming and spending some time with us and giving us some insight as to what makes a chef.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, great.
Thank you. Great. Thanks. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And that is Chef Vince. So, all right, let's send it over to Sean Martinelli, who has something more from this festival here. Sean?
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, I've been having such a great time here at the Wine and Food Fest. You know, one of the really interesting things about coming here is being able to see all the wine judges. They come from all over and they taste and they review the different wines here. I had a chance to sort of take a look at their process earlier today. Check it out. Here at the Hudson Valley Wine and Food Fest, they've tasted and sipped for nearly half the day.
Well, it's up to you.
They are the wine judges, and they come from all over to decide the best of the best.
Each table is judging different varieties of wine or different styles of wine, and you have to come to a conclusion about whether the wine deserves a medal, and if you feel it deserves a medal, you'll either award it a bronze or a silver or a gold.
For Diane Latoul, being able to discuss the wines with a group of her peers from around the country is what makes this event pretty special.
Well, the nice thing is doing it as a group, because if it was only up to one person, it would be, you would say that their own preferences would come into play, but they really balance that by pairing you with a few other tasters, and you do it all together. So if one person is really strongly in favor, but the other two are a little more lukewarm, you sort of talk it through and say, okay, maybe that's just your preference, but on the balance, we're not going to give it a gold, we'll give it a silver.
And Diane echoed what we've heard a lot of people say here at the festival, that the Hudson Valley is the place to be for wine lovers.
Hudson Valley, what grows well here is distinctive, but also as a wine industry, it's really come a long way in the last 20 years. The quality has really risen, and it's a beautiful area. I write a lot about wine tourism, and for me, this is, especially in the fall, such a lovely place to visit.
In the end, some wines won and others didn't, but there's not a whole lot of people complaining here at the Hudson Valley Wine and Food Fest. And I'm sending it right back to you guys, Paula and Charlie, for an interview with Chef Brian Santos.
All right, thanks, Sean. Well, we're here now with Brian Santos, who just prepared a wonderful venison dish, and he was on season 13 of Hell's Kitchen. Brian, tell us a little bit about how you landed that gig on Hell's Kitchen.
Wow. Hell's Kitchen was a really big ride. It was an opportunity. I think the odds are 1 out of 25,000 people to get on there. So basically just having charismatic charm, I like to call it, and being able to take criticism to a whole nother level, which at the end of the day, after coming off the show, I didn't realize how much I learned until I got back into my kitchen at the TD Garden, and it's like, wow, I learned so much in such a little time. So it was a great experience.
You were telling us off camera that you were working with a chef who was really trying to drive you hard.
Yes.
And then he was the one who said, if I could drive him this hard, he should probably apply for it.
That's so my chef from the Colonnade Hotel, Nick Kalis, my mentor, one of my best friends. Basically, if he finds that you want to be a chef and you want to make a business out of this, he's going to push you to the limits. And that's tough, as I like to call tough love. Just like any coach would give to a player, tough love. So basically, he just beat me down like a donkey. And from there, he goes, Santos, you need to go on the show. I'm like, show? What are you talking about? I'm like, usually you're the one who usually wants to go on the shows. No, you have to go on Hell's Kitchen. I'm like, Hell's Kitchen? He's like, Santos, if I beat you up enough, you can take Ramsey. And I said, okay. And I applied, and ever since then, I went on and had a great time. So.
Now you actually have lived in 3 different regions of the country. You're from Massachusetts, right? You lived in Massachusetts, California, and the South, Alabama. So did each of those regions, did you sort of incorporate the cuisine from each of those regions into your repertoire?
It is. I'm still learning about New England. It is, because you have the 4 seasons. The 4 seasons can change on a drop of a dime, but California, you can get anything at any time, but at the same time, you're not getting the fresh, out of the earth, old school things. And like Julia Childs is from around here. It's CIA's up here. Having different things and being able to go to having a theme for each season really helps you as a chef, and it makes you start thinking more and more and more. Versus California, just having regular things. But at the same time, Alabama was a whole nother experience. Fried chickens, collard greens, smoked ham hocks, barbecue. I mean, so it's one of those things to have. And as you're cooking, you go, what if I put a southern flair on that? What if I did some grit cakes with with some cod or something like that? So it's definitely, I try to tell all my chefs that are coming up, try going other places. It doesn't have to be Europe, but every state has its own niche. It has its own thing. So don't be afraid to go out and stage. So and a lot of them took my advice and been very successful from it. So.
You also said keeping it simple is key.
Yes.
Having a meat thermometer and cooking with bacon. I mean, I picked up some things watching you. So, but the keeping it simple part, the 4 or 5 ingredients without complicating it. I think that's really important when you're cooking, and especially if you're a rushed chef in the kitchen. You come home after a 9-to-5 job. Always important stuff to keep it simple.
Yeah, just don't overdo things. As a chef, when we get out of school, we want to give you 15 components on a plate, and it just doesn't meet the profile. So sometimes you just want to keep it simple, but at the same time treat everything with integrity and respect. Make sure that you're getting your carrots from a local farm. Making sure that your cod that you're buying is from a valuable fishmonger. Making sure that the meat that you buy is it's just all coming from the right places. So I'm switching over to that, and I've noticed a lot better results from it.
And to that point, you had mentioned that there's 4 ingredients that you keep in your kitchen that maybe everybody should keep in their kitchen.
Yes.
And those are?
4 ingredients that I keep in my kitchen is garlic.
Oh yes, a must.
Garlic is definite. Pork, bacon slab, any type of pork product you can possibly get. That's my thing, because I like using the leftover fat from it. You can always cook something from it. Sear scallops with the bacon fat. I'd probably say a nice, extra virgin olive oil for finishing. A lot of people get the misconception of olive oil needs to be cooked. No, it needs to be drizzled. You're spending $20, $30 for this first press from Italy, olive oil. And the last but not least is just, I'd probably say a really good cheese. Just I'm a huge cheese person. I love cheese. So, and being that we're in New England, Vermont, Maine, New York, everything is right around the corner, and everything is organic and it's local. So, having those things, I wouldn't tell you the same thing 5 years ago. Right. I would say, you have to have all this weird stuff, and you don't need it anymore. You need just to keep it simple.
Yeah.
So.
How How much of an influence was your family? I know you said you're Italian and you used to eat at your Nana's house and she'd have a full spread. I'm noticing most of the chefs here have an Italian background, right? But how much of a factor was your upbringing and the love of food being Italian?
It wasn't really about the love of the food. It was just the love of the atmosphere. Going in there and getting the aromatics, knowing that I have meatballs. I know my sausage cacciatore is coming. I'm ready. I'm excited. Filling your face and just having a really good conversation with family. And being that I lived in California and all my family members lived up here, it was getting a chance to just sit and talk and have a good time with them. And from there, it was just became more and more of love and more passion. And then that started transferring into food. And I still have old school recipes. I don't follow recipes really anymore. I look at a picture and now I say, what if I did this and this and this, and just put my own flair on it. And again, keep it simple. Don't overdo things.
Yes.
I thought it was really impressive. After your demonstration, everybody flocked up. There must have been 30 people flocked up. How does that make you feel?
It feels good because at the end of the day, we as chefs, the thrill for us is instant self-gratification. So, at the end of the night, be it your chef, be it your guest, hey, great job, food was amazing. That little word right there just puts you in a good mood.
Yeah.
It makes you that 14, 16-hour day that you've been slaving over a stove think, wow, that was really cool. I can't wait to do it again tomorrow.
Right,
so things like that, and being able to help home cooks. There's a lot of things where home cooks now are trying to become more, not out of a box, not opening because we have 15 minutes. I just got home, I have 3 kids, I have 15 minutes to put dinner on the table. Now we're coming out with these products, the sous vide machine, where it's already cooked. I just need to warm it up, and things of that nature. And let's put some fresh carrots out there. Let's put some some fresh peas. What's in season around us? And being able to answer some of these questions, and again, keeping it simple is the greatest part of that. So explaining 4 ingredients to make a puree. It doesn't have to be a parsnip puree. It could be any type of puree that you want to make, but it's the 4 ingredients to go along with it, and then it's your own flavors. What you have. If you like it spicy, add some sriracha.
Yeah.
If you want it sweet, if you want it bitter, whatever you want to do, it's your palate, it's your world, and that's the really cool thing about cooking.
Now you have something that you're looking forward to. You're expecting your first child.
I am. Wife couldn't make it with me. I had my whole car, my SUV, packed, and this is a food and wine event. And being she's pregnant, I don't think she would enjoy herself. We're in our 2nd trimester right now. We went to see to find out the gender. Unfortunately, the baby was being uncooperative and decided to close its legs on us during the ultrasound. So we have to wait again. It's gonna be really interesting. We have I work right now at the TD Garden. I'm the luxury suite chef there. So our preseason starts the 22nd, and then it's go till April. So we have 2 teams that we're constantly doing. TD Garden right now is actually celebrating their 100th anniversary. The TD Garden, Delaware North is doing their 100-year anniversary.
Right.
And the TD Garden, I can't believe it, is 20 years old now. It was just not too long ago they were knocking down the old building and putting a new building up.
Yeah.
And we have so many renovations going on right now. You will not notice the TD Garden from what it looks now in 5 years from now. It's a really cool thing what we're doing. I don't want to give too much away. A lot of this hush hush, but it's going to be really fun. We're actually going to have a main entrance into the TD Garden. Never had a main entrance from the old school till the now. It's always through the side. We're actually going to have a main entrance, and that's as much as I'm going to give you.
Tell our viewers some of the things that you're doing, because you were telling us off camera who you're cooking for, where you're going, and some of the pretty high-profile things that you're involved in.
Yeah, so I handle the luxury suites, which is pretty much 90 boxes. I do the Heineken boardroom. We do the Patron Lounge. So basically, it's all the high-end clientele that comes in, owners of teams, the Jacobs themselves. Basically, anybody that's willing. When you buy a suite, it's a corporate. It's a corporate person trying to impress another corporate. So it could be trying to have a sales, trying to get some business, whatever the case may be. That's what I think it is anyway.
Yeah.
But just everybody's there to have a good time, and that's the really cool thing about it is I love sports. So having sports as a background and your accompaniment to a sports, really good sports teams, by the way. But just being something that's bigger than you is a really cool, and it's a really cool environment to work in. They've already paid all this money to come in, and we're just an accompaniment to the game. We're giving you really good food, and we've taken the old traditional ways of how arenas work, and we're constantly evolving them. The sous vide machine, combi ovens, you name it, training, the CSC right here means that I'm a certified sous chef. Going back to school, our chefs actually went and got their Pro Chef 2, Pro Chef 3 through CIA. So it's constantly evolving yourself, because at the end of the day, as soon as you stop learning as a chef, you're done in this industry. And what was old 10 years ago is new now.
Yeah.
And it's a recurring thing, and it's really cool. But it's how do you make it? How do you make it yours?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So that's the fun part of it. I love having, chicken wings is probably one of my favorite things to have. But we don't open chicken wings out of a box. We take them, we break them down, we brine them, we marinate them, we roast them, we make our own buffalo sauce. We're giving you a superior product, where before, 10 years ago, it was just things out of a box, and it wasn't really what it was. Now a lot of people like going to arenas to see what they have for food, and a lot of people don't know what we have. We have 5 restaurants in the TD Garden that probably nobody knows about. So it's slowly catching on. Instead of going to a restaurant before you go to the game, you can actually go to the restaurant in the game. And halftime, you can have your beer and an ice cream sundae sitting right for you when you come back.
It's just changed so much.
The evolution of it's crazy, and I'm really glad to be part of it.
So taking it back to this right here, a wine and food fest like this, why is it important to this area?
It's when I look at this, I think of local vendors. All local. I'm looking at compotes right there. They're all local. They're all fresh. It's what we should be doing. As a society and as a state or a city. Basically being able to have people come in that normally would have no idea what it is, can't get it at the grocery store, but at the same time being able to try things. That's the really cool thing about it. If you walk by a cheese place, I'm sure they're letting you try it. So these people probably never tried a certain type of cheese, and now you've just opened up their palate. Now they're more willing to try something else.
Right.
I made venison because a lot of people think it's very gamey, so I try to take that fear factor away from them, and everybody tried it. Like, this isn't venison. I'm like, no, it's venison. But again, just treating it with integrity, doing the right things for it, and the good things will happen. Especially in food and wine. And you guys make really good wine. I have my wristband on. I can't wait to go try some. I'm really happy right now, and definitely some of the food vendors, just to see, because as a chef, you're always taking something and you're always learning from something. So be it a food truck, be it someone that just had a conversation with me, an 8-year-old kid.
Yeah.
It comes from all over the place. So it's you have to really put your ear to the ground sometime and just listen and see what's going on around you, and things like this is really fun. It's cool.
Well, we want to thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Having us learn a little bit more about you and what you do, and I know everyone else is interested as well. So thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, I think Roger Connor has a report from the Hudson Valley Wine and Food Fest, and let's see what Roger's into right now. Roger?
Thanks, Charlie. One of the unique features of the Hudson Valley Wine and Food Fest is this whole circle of food trucks and food vendors. And it's quite an international cuisine you've got here. We've got seafood behind me, we've got kielbasa's, we've got crab cakes, we've got all kinds of unique and tasty food here. But there's one that's just breaking the mold, and I gotta find out what these guys are doing over here. They call themselves chompers, crunchy balls of goodness. Well, let's see if they truly are crunchy and good. I'm here with Tom of Tom's Chompers, Crunchy Balls of Goodness. All right, Tom, tell us, What's the goodness part?
The goodness is they're handmade, and there's 2 flavors. We have bacon cheeseburger, and we have chicken parmesan, and they come with marinara dipping sauce.
So how long have you been doing this?
I just started this year.
Oh, really?
I created these like 10 years ago, but I worked in restaurants and I would serve them as specials. But I knew the best venue for something like this would be festivals and fairs and carnivals. So I handed in my chef hat, and now I just do this.
And how's it going so far?
Very good. The response has been incredible. I didn't expect it to take off as well as it did, and it's knocked down a lot of doors that are normally closed because it's an original item. It's unique, something new.
Very good. Well, we got to do a taste test to make sure that these are crunchy and they're good. This is the bacon cheeseburger we're trying out here. And I like bacon, and I like cheese, and I like burgers. Oh man. I could see myself sitting down in front of a football game with a whole plate of these things.
Yeah, they go well with beer and hanging out with your buddies and football.
And they would be gone before halftime.
Yeah, thank you.
So, thanks, Tom.
Thank you very much.
And how's the festival going for you?
Good. We're expecting a little rain right now, just for a little bit, but it's doing really well. It's a great crowd here tonight, and everyone's having a good time. It's really nice.
All right, we're going to take it back inside to Paula and Charlie, who've got the next chef lined up and ready to go.
All right, well, thanks, Roger. Football season is right in full swing right now, so anytime you want to have us over for some of those little balls, we'll be there for that. That looked amazing.
Right on, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Hey, Amanda Giblin joins us, and she's from season 11 in Hell's Kitchen, and great to have you here.
Thank you for
Just
having
did
me.
your cooking demonstration. You had a ton of people. I think you probably had more people than anybody else here today.
Oh, well, thank you.
You did great.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit off camera. One of the things that we both picked up was your passion for food and how it connects you to people. Let's talk about that start.
When I was very young, I grew up in a single parent household. So my mom always was working, and so when she came home, she always had to cook for us kids. So to spend time with my mom, I felt to spend time with her, it was spending time with her in the kitchen. So cooking with my mom and spending time with her in there, as our relationship started to build, it actually formed my love of food, and that's where I fell in love with culinary. So food equals family and love for me.
There's something like food to bond people together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's like what we were talking about before. Usually 90% of people that go out to a restaurant, they're usually going out for an anniversary or a birthday or on a first date. And unbeknownst to us as chefs, we play a huge role into how that evening is going to go.
That's right.
If we send out something bad or it doesn't taste good or something too big or undercooked, it's going to set the other person off, and then they're going to send the food back, and then they kind of just maybe feel a little embarrassed that they brought their date to that restaurant because they're not having a good time. So we, in a sense, behind the scenes, set the tone for how your evening is going to go. So it's really important for us as chefs that we just nail it every time and have that consistency on the food too. So it allows our customer to have a better experience.
You teach that to your students.
Yes, I tell my students all the time that when they plate things or make things and portion size, always consider that the person who's eating your dish at a restaurant usually is on a date, so you would never want to serve a salad with a piece of lettuce that's huge or greasy ribs where they're going to get it on their face. So just consideration when you're plating.
Now, this is your second year at the festival.
Yes.
Why do you like to come?
It's self-promotion. It connects me to the little bit of a fan base that I have from being on the show, and just lately with Food Network and how culinary has blown up so much, people just love to be in touch with the chef. At a restaurant, when you're coming out of the kitchen and you do the little table touching, people think that is amazing that a chef comes out of the kitchen to say, hey, how was your meal? So I feel like when you're cooking for an audience, it really connects you to what people are wanting, and you kind of get direct feedback, because you usually don't hear that in in a restaurant.
That's true.
They leave a comment card, or they don't say anything at all. They just go home and kind of bash you on Yelp, and then there's never any kind of like direct constructive criticism. It's just, oh, I had a horrible steak dinner from this place, and then it's like you didn't have time to fix it or whatever.
You guys are pretty much in the back room doing your thing. Here, you get to cook in front of all these people and have an audience.
Yeah.
And you really were working it good. I mean, you.
Oh, thank you.
You have just the right personality, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And the right spunk. I'm getting to you as well too.
Yeah.
I think that is what rounds me out as a culinary instructor as well. I'm the same way with my students. I try to teach them that cooking is fun, and you kind of have to really love what you're doing, and it's not as crazy hard as you may think.
Right.
Just kind of have fun with it. I tell my students not really to cook from a recipe, but you need to cook from what you feel in here, not so much, because if I'm handing you a recipe to cook something, you're cooking what I'm feeling. I want you to cook what you're feeling. So recipes to me are guidelines.
Yeah.
And you can kind of play around with things from there.
Yeah.
So that's what I like to teach.
So you have passion for food, but you also have passion for charitable organizations, and one in particular. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
I'm involved with an incredible organization. It's called michellesplace.org. It's linked through realityrally.com. It raises awareness and funds for young women who are uninsured who have breast cancer. The entire facility is, they take 100% of donations, and every $400 that we and our celebrityism can raise allows for one woman or man that doesn't have insurance a free mammogram. They supply wigs for women who can't afford. They even go for women who are going through cancer, like around Christmas, or the facility actually will Christmas shop through the donations, so their kids and their husband and their family or whoever they're living with have some sense of normality to their lives, so they can go through what they need to go through. Just an incredible, amazing, touching experience every time I go, and they bring Michelle is a woman who actually passed away at the age of 26 from stage 4 breast cancer, because she didn't have the money to get a mammogram and go through what she needed to go through. So her parents set up in her memory for this facility, so no other woman has to go through this. So they actually bring Michelle's family out to talk to us, and they just tell her story, and every time I just cry like a baby, because it's so touching. So I feel blessed to have been asked to be a part of that, and I always like to use whatever name I have from doing on the show to give back to the community and do things for others.
And if our viewers want to get more information or want to research it themselves or donate, where would they go?
They can go to realityrally.com. There'll be a little link for all the 2016 participating chefs. From there, it'll give you a list, and you can click on my name, Chef Amanda Giblin, and you can donate as much money as you want, whether it's 10 cents to $1,000. Every single penny helps, and every single penny is appreciated. And we'll be taking donations from October 1st until February 14th, I believe.
What's next for Chef Amanda?
I don't know. I need an investor so I can open a restaurant.
There you go.
Well, we want to thank you for stopping in and taking some time.
Thank you for having me.
You did a great presentation. Everybody seemed to love it. This place is hopping, and you're adding to the experience. So,
good.
Thank you so much for that.
I'll be here tomorrow as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
All right, and that will pretty much wrap it up for us here at the Hudson Valley Wine and Food Fest. As we take a look around, it's still hopping.
Oh, yeah.
Still a lot of people here. If you haven't been here, come next year. Mark it on your calendar now. There's so much great stuff to experience. So we want to thank you for tuning in as well. And for Paula and everyone else here, I'm Charlie Pernacci, and we'll see you next time.